Welcome back to the Sunny Stampin' Studio. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this cute Glassine bag Valentine's treat holder. Now there's a variety of different techniques that are encompassed in today's video. I'm going to show you how you emboss your Glassine bags. I'm going to show you inking chipboard, as well as applying rub-ons to chipboard, and curling designer paper to create paper ribbon. Now because there's a number of techniques being shown, I may not be able to fit it all into one video, so this may be broken up into different segments. Why don't we get started? First thing we're going to do is to make the embellishment on the front. Now to do that, you're going to need to color some chipboard. I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper, my Dotto adhesive, my chipboard, and my craft ink. Now to dye chipboard, you do need a pigment-based ink, and that's our craft ink. I'm using it in the Stampin' Spot. It comes in a set of 12 colors. This is from the Soft Subtles. I prefer using Stampin' Spots for inking up my chipboard. I just find it a lot easier to handle. I also always, when I'm inking chipboard, keep craft ink refill on hand, because if you're doing a lot of it, your Stampin' Spot can start to run out of ink. So what you want to do is to take a little bit of Dotto adhesive, put it on your scrap paper, press your chipboard piece to the Dotto so it stays in place as you're inking it. Then you're going to take your Stampin' Spot and you're just going to start pressing up and down onto your chipboard piece until it's fully covered in ink. Now you can either let it air dry, you can heat it with a heat tool, or if you'd like you can go ahead and emboss it. When you just let it air dry or dry it with your heat tool, you end up with a very matte finish, whereas if you emboss it, you're going to end up with a very glossy finish. Now you're going to need to do this for a small pink heart and a larger red heart. You can see I've already gone ahead and done this. Now you'll notice a difference when your chipboard piece is dry. You can see here it's a lot darker. As it dries, it lightens. So I'm going to set that aside to dry and use the pieces that I pre-prepped already. So once they're dry, you can go ahead and you can peel them off of the Dotto on your grid paper. Now that I've done that, I want to apply a rub-on to my heart. And to do that, I'm using this sheet. It's from Stampin' Up's new Chat Room rub-on collection. And there's two sheets. There's a chocolate chip and there's a whisper white. And I just want to select some kind of a greeting that's going to fit on my heart. And it doesn't really matter which one. I think in this case, I'm just going to use the word friends. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom in so you can see how you would cut out only part of a rub-on. As you can see, I'm very careful to cut around the F, like so. There. Once you have that, what you want to do is to peel the backing off of the, there we go. Peel the backing away from the rub-on transfer sheet. Now at this point, it's very helpful to have a pair of tweezers. It's just a lot easier to place your rub-on where you want it to be in your heart. So here I'm going to have it along the edge of my heart. And once you have it positioned where you want to apply some light pressure, just pressing it down onto the chipboard. You're now going to need your applicator stick, and the key when you're doing this, you want to make sure you always hold on to the rub-on so that it doesn't shift. So I'm now going to very gently rub my applicator stick all over my rub-on. And I don't know if the video picks it up, but what you notice when you're doing this is the rub-on starts to get a little bit more opaque as it's being transferred onto the chipboard. And what that tells you is that it's no longer clinging to the transfer sheet, but that it's actually on the surface onto which you're trying to apply it. So once you've done that, as you start peeling the backing off, don't let go of it, because in the case that you didn't transfer it perfectly, you can carefully lay it down again. So here I'm just hanging on as I slowly peel it off. And there you see you have your rub-on applied to your heart. Now that you've done that, you're going to go ahead and take some Crystal Effects glue. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so you can better see everything that I'm doing. You're going to take some Crystal Effects glue and, well, you can apply your heart using that. Actually, in this case, for the sake of the video, because I don't want to wait too much time to dry, I'm just going to use a mini glue dot. So I'm going to place pick up a couple mini glue dots with my chipboard piece, and I'm just putting it on the left side of the heart because that's the only part of the heart that is going to stick to this one. So I want to apply it onto the red heart so that it is slightly off-centered like this. I'm now going to take a real red epoxy brad, and I just want the polka dot pattern. And I want it to be positioned approximately here. So I'm just going to press down so that the end of the prong leaves a bit of an imprint in my chipboard. And once I've done that, I'm going to take my 1/16 inch handheld circle punch, and I'm going to punch a hole, and then I'm just going to punch a little bit to the side of it to make it a little bit bigger. Now that I've done that, I can go ahead and insert the prongs of my brad, and then you can go ahead and open it up on the back. There. Now the next thing I want to do is to apply some of my chunky glitter. So I'm going to take my Crystal Effects, and I'm just going to squeeze very gently. I don't want too much to come gushing out. And I'm going to squeeze and gently pull a fine bead of Crystal Effects all along the edge of the red heart. Just like so. Once that's done, you can go ahead and sprinkle on the chunky glitter. And this particular glitter comes from the Chunky Essentials glitter, and it's called the white glitter, although it's actually quite translucent. So as you can see, I'm gripping my chipboard actually in the pink heart because I didn't put any Crystal Effects or glitter there. So I'm holding it like that and flicked off the excess, and you can now see the outer edges are glittered. You can just set that aside, oops, you can just set that aside to dry. And the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is to create your curled paper ribbon. You can see I have some here already. It's very easy to do and adds a really nice touch. What you want to do is to cut a strip of designer paper, and this is just slightly smaller than 1/4 inch, and you want a narrow barrel, and in this case I'm just using a paintbrush. And I'm taking my paper, and you just want to wrap it all around the barrel of the brush, and you notice I'm keeping it tight. And there you have it. You have your paper ribbon. So once you've done that, you're now going to grab your heart again, and you're going to need some mini glue dots. And you just want to take the end of the paper ribbon, and you want to stick it to a mini glue dot, and then you're just going to pick it up and stick it to the underside of the heart like so. So you want to do that with all your pieces. Now, it doesn't particularly matter what length your designer paper strip is. If it's too long, you can just go in and trim it afterwards, like I'm going to do with this one here. So you just want to keep applying your ribbon pieces until you're happy with their placement. And then that's what it's going to look like when you're done. So you can go ahead and set that aside, and we're now going to emboss the glassine bag.